Let's do this. Liverpool 1, PSV 4. Another defeat for the Reds, and let's start talking about it. Welcome to Marching Reds. I am Aman Chima. I am here to review the game between Liverpool and PSV played at Anfield in the Champions League, and yeah, another game in which we saw another opposition, now this time from Holland, come at Anfield and get away with those 3 points. So let's start from the beginning. Uh, there was a sort of excitement brewing. At least I was excited to see this game because although in the Premier League we've not been doing well, but in the Champions League we were doing relatively better. Out of the 4 games before this one, we won 3, lost 1. Now, spoiler alert, we've lost 2. But looking at the playing 11, of course, there were questions on like who would start as the number 9 and like who would be in the left back position. But like with those calls, you expected a similar lineup, which was Mama Darshvili in goal. Like that was a surprising factor because everybody thought Allison would start this game, but he was out due to illness. So Mama Darshvili in goal. In the back line, instead of Soboslai, it was Curtis Jones. And then I thought, like, you know what? Okay, this might be a really nice tactic because of course Szoboszlai can also play in that right back position, but you would rather want his energies to be better utilized in the midfield, and that's how we sort of utilized him, especially in the beginning of the game. So Curtis Jones at the right back position, centre back pairing had to be Konate and Van Dijk. Although there were rumors about like maybe Joe Gomez getting a start, and that were like quickly quashed as soon as the playing 11 got announced. In the left back position, it was Milos Kerkez, who was looking better, but then we'll come to him like as soon as we start discussing the game. So Jones, Konate, Van Dijk, Kerkez. In the midfield, it was Gravenberg, McAllister, and Dominic Soboslai. And up top, it was Cody Gakpo on the left side, Mohamed Salah on the right side, and it was Hugo Ekitike with Alexander Isak starting on the bench. So the game starts. There is this nice, not nervous energy, but like this nice vibe about Anfield, and like you could hear them being a little more louder, a little louder. uh, than what I heard in the Nottingham Forest game. But of course, we had to concede the first goal. And I mean, it was just like a brain fade moment from Van Dijk. It was a corner. I mean, it did not go in from the corner. The ball comes in. Van Dijk feels that there is somebody holding him behind him. And to raise that concern, he raises his arm. The ball gets deflected from his arm, and it's a penalty. And even I was surprised to see the fact that how Van Dijk would give away such a cheap penalty. But like, I mean, there are no complaints from my side. It was a penalty, and Perisic slots it home 1-0. But even after that, I wasn't totally demoralized because you could see in the way we were playing, especially in that first 10-15 minutes before we got the goal, and even after we got the goal. Uh, there was this completely different, energetic, positive vibe about Liverpool. Like, okay, if I have to compare this to the Nottingham Forest game, when they scored their first goal, you could see or observe that deflation amongst the players within the crowd, and even I myself felt that like like what, here we go again. But with this goal, I was like, okay, this is not how it's supposed to be, and that is what the players felt too. They were pressing, they were energetic, they were positive, they were going in for the tackles, they were pushing a lot harder, and that was a very pleasant sight because that was the first tick box that I wanted to check, that you need to see that fight, you need to see that hunger in them, which was lacking in the last few games. And after that, of course, we start getting into our own rhythm. We see Cody Gakpo having a few moments in and around that box, and Soboslai getting the goal, which was sort of like a tap in, but from like that penalty spot or so, because the ball gets deflected towards him, and he has just like a simple shot to or a pass to make. Point was he was just like free on goal, and he just slotted it home, and he deserved every bit of it because he has looked one of the best players this season for us, and the fact that he got onto the score sheet was a true deserving moment for him. And after that, so okay, so 16 minutes, 1-1, and we've got 30 minutes before the halftime whistle, and even after that, the reaction to it was good. We did not just sit back and were comfortable with our laurels. I mean, laurels just being the fact that we equalized, because even that for like a Liverpool fan now is a rarity. That as soon as we go one goal down, we could see just like the downward slope coming in. But to see that equalizer, and with the fact that after the equalizer we were not sitting comfortably, we were just like going for our chances again, that was another positive element that I saw. Now comes the part where I was like, okay, where is the finish going to come from? Because of course, you could see the pressure mounting, you could see the extra shift that everybody's putting, but it's coming to no fruition because there is no clear cut way that we could find another goal, and we didn't find any goal for that matter for the rest of the game. But I was very happy with the first 45 minutes, although I could have like thinking back at it now, we would have scored one more or maybe two more. That would have given us a better position to come out in the second half. But I had no complaints after the first half. So it was 1-1, a much better performance as what we've been looking at. And although the scoreline said that we were equal, I personally felt that we were the better team in the first half. So the second half starts, no changes, and then they get a goal after like 5-10 minutes or so. And I was like, again, that was an error from us, and there were a lot of errors in this one. I think it was the Ibrahima Konate situation where like he was trying to clear the ball, misses it completely, and yeah, they go on goal and then they score. And even after that, I mean, at that very moment, I was like, what can Slot do here? Because it's an individual error, and okay, like I'll come to that Slot topic after like I'm done with the game, which I'm just about to finish. So 2-1 to PSV, and then we try to sort of like uh still try to be in the game, like get those passes right, get those movements there. But after a certain while, you could see that we are just not right there, and even with like one-on-ones with Salah, he was not being able to beat his man. Similar with Cody Gakpo. I mean, there were moments in the first half, but like in the second half, it was like too chaotic and too passive and like too much sideways passing. And yeah, then the third goal, I mean, a brilliant play by PSV. Again, have to give full credit to PSV, the way they played and the fact that they knew that like a goal or like maybe a goal or two would hurt us significantly, at least mentally. They knew what their game plan was, and they executed perfectly. So like full credit to them. And for the third goal, Milos Kerkez is on the wrong side of the man that he's marking, and so if the attacker was coming from here, Milos Kerkez would rather want to be either right in front of him or like more towards the goal, but he was behind him, which just gave like a not a simple tap in, but like the player just had to make sure that he redirects the ball from the cross towards the goal, in which like Mohamed Ashwili couldn't do anything. That's 3-1, and then 4-1 happens when like we are too stretched in the game, and even that finish was a really a world class one from I don't even remember who scored for PSV. But the point was, this is not on Slot right now. I mean, of course, the only easy change to make is the manager's position or that head coach's position, but this is not on Slot because he has to name his best 11, and these are his best 11 players. I mean, if you are Slot, who else would he would have started? Chiesa? Okay. Endo? Maybe. Joe Gomez? Maybe. I mean, out of like Gakpo, Isaac, Ekatike, and Sara, there had to be one guy who would be sitting out. So you can take your own pick. And like, if it's not the same as like what Slot chose, of course, you've got an argument there. But there is nothing other than what Slot did that he could have done anything more because it is up to the players now. I mean, like out of like all the games that I've seen, this is the first time I've seen Van Dijk look a bit rattled in this game. Uh, the way he gave that penalty away, the way he was tackling, the way he was being agitated, which I get is a factor where like certain leaders would want to show their authority or show that they are concerned or show that they actually care about the team, which I that's the element which I understood, but it was rubbing off in a very not so positive way. And although Kirkes had a really nice game offensively, he was looking much more sharper, better, but like with that defensive mistake where like actually took the game away from us once it was 3-1. I mean, it's on the team now, it's on the players, and I'm not a guy who would be like blaming few individuals, blaming Slot or blaming Konate for the second goal, blaming Kirkes for that third goal, even for that matter, Van Dijk for that first goal. I mean, of course, I mean, they would be knowing themselves that, like, okay, they are the ones to, if not blame, but they are the people who could have handled that situation better. And just because now we are in that rut, we are in this phase of like where everything we don't touch turns gold for the opposition team. And it's just relentless on like how perfectly other teams are finding ways to score against us. And in this moment where like our defensive issues are not solved, midfield, barring like a few moments, sh- looks shaky, and our forward line always like looks as if like we are up against this imaginary wall and we cannot find a way. So yeah, so that's the situation. And of course, you can question Slot, but I will not question him. And the more I look at this situation, the more I look at his interviews, the more I see the way he's conducting himself, I am getting more on board with Slot because, okay, let me address this in 1 minute. Let's say even if he sacks Slot, which is again would be a disastrous decision according to me, because what these owners and like the board members of Liverpool have seen that they are ready to trust the manager whenever there's a difficult situation. They're ready to grind out this or like, in, for that matter, similar difficult phases. And there's a reason why Arne Slot would have been announced as the successor of Jurgen Klopp, because if not for this season, this situation would have been the same the previous season. So, I mean, of course, there will be a lot of hypotheticals. There will be a lot of situations of what if instead of losing 9 games in 12, the situation would have been better with losing like what 6 games in 12, but the problems would still have been the same. And even if you get another manager, it is still going to be the same crop of players. It is still going to be the same things that a new manager would be backing on like what Slot is backing on now, whether it's the quality in the team, the talent in the team, the hunger in the team. And of course you could get a new manager bounce or like whatever, but then what's the point of leaving this exciting project right when the things start to get tough? I mean, isn't this the moment where we as Liverpool fans, just accept the reality for once that okay, this is not the best season that we're having. It's a team in transition, and of course, now it could be used as an excuse. But let's breathe, let's be calm, and let's support in any form or any sort of way which would help this team to overcome this difficult phase. So, sacking the manager, I do not believe it because, okay, like I get it. Like the results 3-0, 3-0, 4-1 at home, away, like these facts which are true, I would rather not look at it in the way that they're presented. I would rather look at it as if just like how should I say this? I want to give it full importance, but like not unwanted importance, and move on from there. If you ask me where my next or like where the Liverpool's next goal is coming, I have no clue. Do you think we'll win the next game? I have no clue. But all I can tell you is that even after this, I am much more motivated. I am much more supportive of this team because blame game is easy. Removing people from certain positions is easy. Trusting people when they actually need your trust and support, that is difficult, and that is what I'm choosing to do. And I won't be shocked, let's say 18 months down the line, Slot gets another season with these players, and like of course like plus minus 2 3 players or whatever. You think we won't be playing better 12 months from now with the same crop of players? I certainly believe so. That does not mean that I'm just giving away with this season. All I'm trying to come at it is that once all the pieces are in that puzzle, and once the person who is making that puzzle knows when to use who and how to make it more efficient, that's when we see the magic happening. And for that, we need to believe that till that time, he is the right guy for that job. So I'm in all favor of Arne Slot being my manager, being the manager of the club that I love. And of course, he would get deflated. I mean, like, who would like a run of 9 losses in 12 games? Nobody. And it's very easy for like people who are not involved, and that includes me also, to start blaming or like throwing my frustration towards the team, and which is fair, which is justified. And if there is any other Liverpool fan who would be upset, I would share my feelings with him, and I would like to be on the similar page with him. But our reaction cannot be instinctive. Our reaction cannot be reactive. It has to be more thought of. It has to be more long term. And yeah, I mean, this is what I just had to say. So yes, it's a loss. Uh, we'll be back again in the Premier League over the weekend, and that is the next opportunity where we can start making things right. And irrespective whether we do or not, that's my team. Those are my players, and Arne Slot is still my manager. You let me know what you thought about the game. You let me know about the current situation of Liverpool in the comment section below. And if you've liked my video, you know what you gotta do. And even if you have a difference of opinion with me, I would really like to know how you are feeling if you're a Liverpool fan, and more importantly, if you're not, because I'm pretty sure you are having a great time knowing that Liverpool is not winning. So that was it. I will see you very shortly in the next video. Till then, Arne Slot, la 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 la. Take care.